Glamour is rarely the key to a successful invention, which means London-based Patrick Smythe and Tim Hurst might just have a chance with their less than glamorous toilet accessory.
Good afternoon, my name's Patrick, this is my colleague Tim. We're here today to ask for £75,000 of investment for 15%. The Odourbuster is an extractor system which draws the air from within the bowl, taking it directly out into the waste. So any odours that occur within the bowl don't come into the room. As you approach the toilet, the sensor picks up your movement, which starts the fan, which draws the air very gradually underneath the rim, through the waterways, straight into the waste. So when you flush the toilet, the water passes through, touches the sensor, and cuts the fan out. So it's only working while you're using the toilet. Complies with building regs, so if to put one of our units into a cloakroom, there's no need for any form of ventilation. That brings us on to the new Universal, which does the exact same thing, but for the commercial market. Tim.
So we're thinking about what the market is for this particular product. We're not sure what the commercial number of toilets is, but I do know that Wembley Stadium alone has got 2,600. The product itself removes the need for traditional venting systems, such as extractor fans, and that usually requires, in a building process, quite a lot of extra ducting, so that disappears. This requires very little, if no maintenance at all. So we think for pubs, clubs, restaurants, shops, care homes, this could be a great product.
Thank you. Any questions?
A confident and professional pitch from business partners Patrick Smythe and Tim Hurst. They need £75,000 to launch their product that stops the escape of unnecessary toilet odours by sucking them back through the pan. But it's not an issue with which Duncan Bannatyne is familiar.
Yes, Patrick, Tim. I've got 60 health clubs and 3 hotels and 30 spas around the country. Now, I encourage my members to write to me if there's any problem. But in 25 years of business, I can't remember ever getting a letter or an email from anybody saying the toilet stinks. You know, toilets are designed with sewage pipes in a way that prevents the smell anyway, aren't they?
It's about the smell getting into the room. Now, the traditional extractor fans, they draw the air out and change it. That's why under building regulations you're required to have it. So it's taking the air away once the smell has been created.
Right,
it's,
okay,
it's simple, it's out of sight.
This is no longer an invention that stops the smell in the room. This is now an invention that makes it cheaper to extract air.
That's part of it, yes.
Right, we started with the odour issue, and you were right. 3 years ago, people said, well, I'll use an aerosol, you know, I'll open a window. Right, times have moved on. Now we're selling the unit for people putting toilets under stairs. You know, now you can literally put a petition up and have a toilet anywhere you wanted in the building. So that's now the main, for us, the key selling point. It saves people money.
An assured start from the knowledgeable entrepreneurs, and one that has intrigued Theo Pafitis.
Who are you? What's the background?
I'm a plasterer by trade, plaster dry liner, okay? A friend of mine brought the idea to me and showed me the prototype. We thought it was a good idea, got it manufactured. And I just feel the amount of places that I've been, whether it be hotels, sports places, race courses, that people are paying a lot of money and you go into toilets that stink. And I just, you know, to me, there is a market. Every unit that we've sold...
Don't those have extractor fans in?
Yes, but the extractor fan is in the ceiling, so you've got to get the smell from A to B. So you're going to fill the room up with the smell.
Tim, Patrick, yes. Hi, yeah, hi. I'm Deborah. I actually think it's a neat idea. I think in a domestic situation, it's particularly unattractive, these horrible white plastic grills. So my question to you is, in terms of the airflow, how is that affected? Because it's presumably going into a waste pipe with a ventilation, a soil pipe with a ventilation pipe going up. What affects the air draw on that?
Well, nothing, because it's actually using the actual airways, which are empty at the time of extraction.
So theoretically, your soil pipe is always empty.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first question. Second question is, are there issues having water passing close
No.
to electricity? So how come...
Because we have a transformer which reduces the power down to 12 volts.
An unlikely business idea, perhaps, but it's one that seems to have captured the Dragon's attention. But is there money to be made? James Kahn wants to know.
I like the concept. I get the idea.
Yeah.
But I think the reality of this being a business doesn't really convince me.
If you were seeking to put in a toilet, say, for instance, under the stairs, a lot of people are doing house conversions and house improvements. You have to have, by law, air extraction.
No, I get that, but then the problem I've got with that is the only reason I would invest is if this is a volume market. So if all I'm doing is sitting here thinking I'm focusing on the understairs market, that's not volume.
In the first year, if you could get the sales up to, say, 5,000, which is a relatively small amount, at the end of it, worked it out, you'd probably end up with about 85,000 in the first year.
Okay, 85,000.
Based on about 5,000
15% of that, are you?
Yeah.
So what's that make? Be 12 grand then? Does that sound like a great investment to you?
We're here.
But that's the numbers. You remember, I didn't make the numbers up.
But like I said, we haven't got the expertise for marketing and selling. That's why we're here. If we had sold 10, 15, 20,000, we wouldn't be here. We've put a lot of time and effort into this, and that's why we've come here, because we feel that with the likes of yourselves, you can open doors that we can't.
I think you're struggling to convince me why this is going to be an investment that's going to make a return. So, regrettably, I'm going to say I'm out.
That's okay.
Thank you.
It's a first knockback for Patrick and Tim. And Peter Jones is now ready to declare his position.
I think that you have got a niche little product. I think you can carry on your jobs, but you've created and invented a product that you might be able to sell at your local builder's merchant. But for me, it comes back down to the numbers. When you said the maximum 5,000, I can't see 5,000 units.
No, that was a
sold.
conservative estimate for year one.
Oh, I don't think that's conservative. I think that's pretty enormous. So whilst I think that you should perhaps carry on, for me as an investment, it just doesn't stack up. And that's the only reason why I can't invest today, and that's why I'm out.
Very useful.
Thank you very much.
Appreciated.
I beg you, please, do not listen to Peter Jones. It's never going to give you a return to match the time you put into it and the money you get into it. It's as simple as that. All the different complications. I build a lot of premises, I put toilets in them, and I know it doesn't work. And for that reason, I'm not going to invest, and so I'm out.
Okay.
3 dragons out, and the duo's bid for investment looks to be on shaky ground. But has former holiday park owner Deborah Meaden spotted an opportunity her rivals have missed?
What actually did get my attention, and I want to explore it a little bit more, is you saying that you don't actually need extraction in the ceiling. So my question to you is, you talked about it complying with building regs. How does that work?
This unit is 16 litres per second, and the building regs say 6 litres per second.
In a commercial...
In a toilet with a hand basin, whether it be commercial...
Yeah, but in a commercial environment, so you've got rows of 10 toilets.
Well, that would be 22 litres per second. So this unit would not do a whole row, but it would do individual toilets.
And if for a commercial environment, we need to improve
So now you've just taken the
it.
big commercial market and you've now narrowed it right down to the type of toilet that has a wall from floor to ceiling and is a single toilet.
The intention is to open it up.
As opposed to what I would find interesting and attractive, which is actually those big, when you put in the big shower and the toilet units that just have those cubicles.
But, I mean, I've gone into a lot of sports clubs where there's individual toilets. Like my gym has 5 individual
I
toilets.
go to areas where there's an awful lot of cubicles.
Yes, there is, yeah.
And that tends to be the style of building. So in that building, this application wouldn't work.
Not at the moment.
I'm really sorry, guys, but you have stopped me from investing in something that I thought was a really neat idea, because it can't do the job you have sold to me that it should do. For that reason, I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
It's a devastating revelation. Now, only retail magnate Theo Paphitis can save the duo from complete failure in the den.
Patrick, Tim.
Yeah.
The reason no one's taken this is because you can't have a DIY person messing around with electricity anymore. So you need to bring in an electrician. There's a cost associated to that. And there's other solutions. No amount of expertise from any of the dragons here is going to get your product out there in every household, in every commercial property, or even 10% or even 1%. And for those reasons, I'm out.
We'll agree to differ.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
They made a promising start, but these dragons are hard to convince. Patrick and Tim leave with nothing.